Hello. Hi, everyone. If you just came over from my Twitch stream, obviously from the raid, you'll already know this. But if you are here, like, of your own accord, I don't have my makeup on yet because the intention of this stream is supposed to be like a makeup tutorial and chatting and things like that. And then if we have time, play some Destiny after. But hello. I probably should adjust the camera on this because this box is quite small compared to like my big wide camera. So let me just, I'm going to grab my webcam and I am going to make it make a bit more sense. So just give me a sec. So I feel like that would make just a teensy bit more sense, wouldn't it? Hi, everybody, and hello. Welcome over from my Twitch, if you came over from my Twitch. Hello to anybody who might be new. If you have, like, from the It Gets Better channel and don't know who I am, my name is B. Hello. I think I should be okay to do my makeup tutorial as I planned. For those who are unaware, if you're joining this stream now from my channel, just to give you a heads up, on this channel, the conversations are going to be mainly focused around LGBTQ+ stuff, particularly being trans and things like that. So the conversations could potentially be a little bit more adult style. I don't swear or anything anyway, but like they might be like teeny bit more adult than on my other channel and things like that. So just be warned about that. Also, if you have questions or things that you want to talk about, we can. Couple of things. First things first. Before I was streaming today, was grocery shopping and the heavens opened and it rained unbelievably. And so my hair looks like this because it rained all on my dry shampoo. So now my hair looks absolutely horrendous. And I didn't have time between the stream and getting home to wash it. So we're not going to be using my hair today or pulling it down. We're going to leave it up in a clip where it can stay and look horrendous. To be completely honest, just absolutely horrendous. We're just going to leave it in a clip and just pretend. Anyways, hi. I haven't done an It Gets Better stream in a little while. The last one I did... the reason was I haven't done one in a while because last one I did was like midway through Pride Month. I think it was like the 19th or 16th. The reason I haven't done one in a little while is because I was actually having surgery. And for those who are interested, I just had breast augmentation literally 3 weeks ago. So lifting my arms and stuff is a little bit difficult. So you might have to bear with me while we're doing the makeup and stuff today. Just because I am a little bit like recovering. Lifting my arms up and stuff can still be a little bit difficult in places, but I had breast augmentation literally 3 weeks ago, so still very much in the healing process. I didn't realize before having breast augmentation, or well, before like going for the appointments and stuff, before like the consultations beforehand, that breast augmentation actually takes up to 10 months to heal. Like your boobs don't look normal for like between 6 to 10 months, which is crazy. It's like a really long period of time. It'll be worth it in the end, but like I didn't really. Oh my gosh, the caption thing censored boobs. Look, it censors boobs. Like as if boobs is a bad word. That's funny. Yeah, it takes up to 10 months before they look normal. Like natural, yeah. When did you transition? I transitioned socially when I was 17 and medically when I was 21. Because that's how long the waiting list took. Thank you, UK healthcare system. So yeah. It'll take 6 to 10 months before they look completely normal. But they do, like, the pain and stuff will be gone in the next month or so, because they hurt a little bit at the moment. Yes, indeed, Cherry, yes. Guys, don't swear, please. Anyways. It censors it on the stream. It doesn't censor it in the chat. So, for those who are new here, we talk a lot about LGBTQ plus topics. It Gets Better is a fantastic non-profit that helps LGBTQ plus youth with various resources and education and things like that. They do some really, really cool things, and I love them, and I love getting to chat for them. And so I want to chat to you guys a little bit about stuff. So if you have questions regarding like LGBTQ plus stuff, advice, want to share your story, whatever it might be, you can. You can do all those things. Is your voice going to stay like that? What do you mean by that? My voice is way better now, in my opinion, than it was before. But I'm not having vocal surgery because vocal surgery is scary and dangerous. So my voice will probably stay like it is now forever. So yeah, God screwed me. If he existed. If he does exist, I don't know. I don't know what I believe. Unrelated to LGBTQ, but we met this cat on Wednesday, and she's been coming back to our hotel room's balcony every night, and she stayed here all night yesterday. Aw, that's so sweet. I just want to say, by the way, to clarify that, like, I respect everybody's religion. I don't know what I believe, but I still respect your right to believe whatever you believe. I thought you got surgery on your voice. No, I had breast augmentation, as I mentioned. And I had some cheek fillers in my face. That's why my cheeks look a bit more pronounced. And I had my lips done. That's why my lips are bigger. Okay, mods. That person who's has come over from my stream and they were causing constant problems in my stream too. Can you just ban them from here? Ban them from my channel? Ban them from my Discord? Like, just ban them from everything, please. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, your parent and my parents don't support LGBTQ people. What do I do? Okay, so first things first, I do want to remind you that you don't want to make yourself unsafe in any way in your home or put yourself in danger. So it's really important that you bear that in mind when it comes to whether or not you want to tell your parents. I don't think it's a good idea to tell people who are really unsupportive things like that, because you don't want to put yourself in danger. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a potentially dangerous position by coming out and risking like something bad happening. So please be careful. But remember, you are not going to live in your family home forever. You are not going to be there forever. You know, in the future things will change, so just bear that in mind. I have already answered this question a couple times, but I will answer it again. I started transitioning socially when I was 17 and medically when I was 21. I told my parents I was bi and they were literally so... They were literally just like cool beings. Well, that's good. I'm really glad. It's nice to hear. Unfortunately, not everybody has supportive parents, but it's nice when you do. Hi, Commie. Night Ray, how you doing? Hi, Ray. Hi. I can't tell my mom I can't tell if my mom supports LGBTQ plus people. I know my dad does. My mom is like homophobic, but at the same time, she's not. Like, you mean she makes jokes and stuff? It's difficult if they make negative jokes because it's hard to know how they feel. You could potentially casually ask, like, about somebody else or see how she reacts to like movies that have gay characters in them, for example, but it's really difficult, so just make sure you be careful, please. I'm going to come out as trans male to female, but I'm really how my mom supports me but other family members don't know. I see. Take your time. Sometimes it can be difficult to, you know, to share it, but you'll get there and it'll be all right. Congrats on your surgery. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so makeup. I'm gonna do my makeup because I want to share with you guys mainly the process I do with my makeup, but I will share with you the products as well. I am not somebody that uses tons of really expensive products. A couple of the products I do use are higher budget, but like I'll tell you some alternatives that are lower budget too. And the only reason I use them is because they're just really good for my very dry and very sensitive skin. But there are lower budget options, so like I'm gonna share some like insight into like options that you guys have, because obviously not everybody wants to buy super expensive makeup. By the way, I will clarify, none of my makeup is super expensive. I don't have anything that's super expensive, because I don't want to waste my money. So I'm gonna walk you through how I do my makeup on a daily basis. So I've already put moisturizer on. I use Charlotte Tilbury moisturizer, the magic cream, and I already have put that on today. So I'm already moisturized. So before I start my makeup, I'm just gonna move my headphones back so I don't cover my brand new headphones in makeup in this process. So I don't have any questions, but I want to thank you for being so open and always talk about important topics. You really help me a lot feel less alone and feel comfortable in my own skin. Oh, thank you, Cherry. That's really, really sweet. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I put on my SPF. Obviously, SPF is very important if you don't want your skin to look old. You don't want aging skin. And also to protect you from the sun in general, but the sun does age your skin. So SPF is important. So I wear this SPF 50 Flawless Primer, which is Charlotte Tilbury. This one. It's the one that I use. And I am going to just put a little tiny bit on my finger and just put it around my face. Plus having a primed base, which makes it a little bit easier to then put like the stuff on top, you know? It acts as like a barrier between your makeup and your face too, and smooths out your pores, just makes it easier to put your makeup on. Again, this primer is a little bit more on the pricier side. It's not super expensive, but it is on the more pricey side. Because I just use it because my skin's really sensitive and it's the only one I'm not allergic to. However, you can just use an actual sunscreen. Like, you don't necessarily need to use primer. You could literally just use a sunscreen if you want to. That's fine too. You could just use actual sunscreen as your primer. There's nothing wrong with that. It's completely up to you what you want to use. Normally I will put the primer on my face, but then just a normal sunscreen on my neck so I don't waste it on my neck, if that makes sense. What made you realize you were trans? I think I always knew, you know, like there was always something there. I always knew that I was different. Quotes, different. I always knew that there was like something about me that didn't feel quite right, but I didn't necessarily know what it was until I got a bit older. And sort of I started watching trans YouTubers and I started to identify with them, you know, and feel like they kind of understood what I was experiencing. Does that make sense? So yeah. Okay, so I put the SPF on. Now, this is the point where I decide whether or not I want to have a natural, dewy kind of look for my face or a matte look. Some people like to have one thing they always stick to, whether that's a matte look or a dewy look, it's up to you. Sometimes people change day to day like I do. Some days I want to just have a natural makeup where I just look nice and natural and dewy and my face looks dewy. And some days I want to have, like a makeup that is more matte colored, and matte is kind of like a more modern thing. People go for like that matte look more modernly in modern day because it's really popular on like beauty YouTubers and things like that, if that makes sense, to go for like a matte look. So I'll decide what I want to do on the day. If I want to have a matte look, I just put my foundation straight on top of the primer. If I want to have a dewy look, then I use sorry, I got a little bit of the SPF in my eye. I use this Charlotte's Magic Serum, this one, because it just gives you like a little glow to your skin. Now, some people straight up just use this and nothing else on their face if they don't want to wear makeup. Like, if you're not feeling makeup one day, just this like magic elixir, it's just so nice. Gives your face a nice little shimmer. You'll see. Just makes it all like dewy and shimmery. And as it soaks in, it just makes you feel nice and hydrated. It's very nice. But I am too self-conscious to leave the house without makeup on, so I would not just go out like this. But it does give your face just this really nice glow, as you can see. I wish I was a beauty vlogger. I should do that. I like that. I don't know enough about makeup though. I just sort of like, I go, this brush works for what I want to do. Slap it on my face. Somebody asked a question. I'm sure she will eventually. Will eventually what? I didn't see the question, so I don't know what you asked. So I have a question that I wondered. Okay, so this is an awkward question. I'll read it out. So I have a question I've been wondering, but will you or have you gotten bottom surgery, and what is your take on it? So I stand with many trans people in agreement that asking a trans person whether they've had bottom surgery or not, or if they're going to, is weird. However, since we're on this channel where I said you can openly ask me anything, I will forego the fact that you asked it. But just so you're all aware, asking a trans person if they've had or are going to have surgeries is kind of weird. Just so you know. It'd be kind of like going to some other random person who's not trans and asking them about their private parts. It's just kind of weird. Like if you went up to somebody who's not trans and was like, how big is your private part? Like that would just be really strange to just randomly ask that to somebody. So just because someone's trans doesn't mean it's okay and normal to ask them about their private parts. But since we are talking about like trans things anyway, since we're talking about like trans related things anyway, I will answer the question. Just because I said you could ask me anything, but just know that don't ask trans people that normally, like out and about. It's weird. So I don't know. Basically, I am on a waiting list for a consultation for bottom surgery. However, I don't know yet what I'm going to do because I don't feel I necessarily. The question that you've got to ask yourself is this: bottom surgery is very serious and very major. And it has potential complications. There's a lot of chance that something could like end up not how you want it. I know you didn't mean to be disrespectful, by the way. Like I know you I know Daisy, like you come to my streams all the time, so I just wanted to make sure you don't ask like a random stranger that question. I know that you didn't mean anything rude. Just to be clear, it's a very major surgery. You've got to be really, really certain that it's 100% what you need to feel okay in your body before you have it, because it is very major and things can go wrong. Things cannot look how you want them to be. You can lose sensation in that area from like any surgery can cause loss of sensation. For example, breast augmentation can make your nipples go numb, for example, or your breasts go numb. Like there's always risks that you can take. So you have to decide whether or not the risks outweigh the pros outweigh the cons, you know, like the positives outweigh the risks, which is the same with any surgery or any major life decision. The pros need to outweigh the cons, you know. And the thing is for many trans people, their bottom dysphoria is so intense that they absolutely know 100% they need to have surgery. The thing is, the question you have to ask yourself kind of is, do I need to have surgery to feel like a woman, to feel like I am comfortable in my gender, in my identity, and with the way I present and the way I fit into my whatever role it is that I want to be in, or you know, whatever identity it is that I have for myself. And if you will ask that question to yourself and you know 100% yes, I need that surgery, then you're going to have that surgery. If you don't think you need it, then you probably won't have the surgery. And if you're in the middle and unsure, then you probably should not have surgery now and wait till later when you are more sure about how you feel. I'm in that middle one where I feel pretty good about my identity. I feel pretty good about how I look now. One of the things that really bothered me for a long time was my like lack of boobs, basically. Like I had breasts, they did grow, but they weren't very significant, if that makes sense. I wanted them to be more significant. And so since having breast augmentation, I feel a lot better about my body. My voice is another thing that really bothered me, and I've been having vocal therapy and I'm trying to be more confident about my voice where possible. And then like I've had my lips and my face like done slightly. I've got like face fillers and my cheek fillers and my lip fillers, and I feel pretty good about my face. I don't think I have a masculine face. I think I have quite a feminine face. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Where are you, B? I see the trees blowing outside. Is it raining where you are? Oh, you said it's raining. Yes, I think it is raining, yeah. So obviously, as with anything in life, you've got to make a decision whether or not it's important to you. I think I look like a woman. I identify as a woman, obviously. I live my whole life as one, and I am a woman, you know. So, like, I don't necessarily feel that I need to have bottom surgery in order to feel comfortable in my identity and in myself. That doesn't mean I won't, though. I'm gonna have a consultation with a surgeon and talk to them about it, but there's a lot of risks that come with that, so it's something that I'm only gonna do if I absolutely 1000% feel I need it, you know, because it is a big, extreme surgery and a long recovery period and a lot of like stuff through life that it adds, that you have to deal with through life. And I just don't want to make a decision like that lightheartedly, you know what I mean? Like I want to really put a lot of effort into that decision to be able to do that. So I hope that answers your question. That is, so the answer is I don't know. I want to say you've helped me through my depression. You really helped when I was coming out as a lesbian, so thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it helped. And you're so pretty. Oh, thanks. Let's see. Your skin is glowing today. How can you be only listening and see your skin? People just put the message thing on their... People put the thing... No, the reason I'm asking you that question, rolling the dice, is because you've got it set so that you have the badge that says you can't see the video next to your name, the eye with the line through it. That says you're just listening. For some reason, they let you have that badge even when you're looking. For some reason. While we're on that topic, would it be covered by insurance where you are? Well, I don't need medical insurance. I'm British, so our healthcare is free. And yes, it is covered by the NHS. My mother supports my brother. However, she got really mad when I suggested being bi. I'm gay, but I wanted to give her hope that I might still date a girl. How do you believe I should come out? Your mother supports your brother? What is your brother, if you don't mind me asking? Like, gay as well? You have to turn that badge on mobile, I think. Okay, next up, guys, I'm going to put my foundation on, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I'm just going to squeeze it onto the back of my hand. And then use a blending sponge that I wet before the stream so that I was ready. Your brother's gay. So your brother's gay and your mom supports that, but she doesn't support you being bi. That's interesting. Are you much younger than your brother? Could that be why? Is it possible to get pregnant if you're trans? If you're a trans man, it absolutely is possible to get pregnant. Yes, you can get pregnant. If you have a uterus and a womb. A womb and a uterus are the same thing, so I don't know why I said that. But if you have a uterus and ovaries and things, then yes, you can get pregnant. Is it possible for a trans woman to get pregnant, as in me? No. Because I don't have a uterus. You're younger, so maybe that's why. Yeah. She always wanted to have grandchildren, so I feel like she expects me to give her that. Gay people can still have children. And they can also adopt and have surrogacy. What is your favourite makeup product? Foundation. Gots to cover all this up. Yes, Taylor Swift tickets did go on sale in the UK and I did get them, yes. Okay, so once I've done my foundation, I then grab my powder. I need a baby wipe so I can wipe the foundation off my hand later. So let me just grab a baby wipe from behind me. Look at my Speak Now records there. I need to put it up on the wall, but I'm waiting for the new hooks to come. So let me just wipe off the makeup off my hands. Thanks for the hydration reminder. The problem is I've drank all my drink and I don't have any left. I'll also get some more in a little bit. Alright, so. I don't usually use a lot of concealer. I do use concealer sometimes. But like, I don't use it often. I have some concealer on my neck today because my neck is looking a little bit ratchet. So. Okay, so. I'm going to grab my powder brush and I'm using the Natural Collection powder because it's nice and it's vegan and it's cruelty free. And I literally am just going to like put it everywhere. Most people say to only put powder in like the places where you sweat, because if you put powder everywhere and you have dry skin, then it dries out those areas more and makes it look more problem. And that's true around the like edges of my nose. I get like a lot of dry skin, but I find that my makeup, because I sweat a lot, I'm a generally very sweaty person when it's hot, my makeup just smears off and looks horrible. So I put powder everywhere. Like everywhere. Not necessarily doll thighs, but I just think it's nice to just make choices that are better for the environment and for people and for animals. Whenever I can. If a product is just as good in the vegan form as the non-vegan form, why would you want to use the non-vegan form? Any more LGBTQ plus questions? Because I might have missed some of your messages that you sent while I'm doing makeup, so please feel free to repeat yourself if I miss any of your questions. Well, price is something to consider with like food, yes, but like this powder, which is vegan, is one of the cheapest powders that's probably the cheapest makeup product I own. That this is just Natural Collection is very inexpensive drugstore makeup. So like what I'm saying is this is on a stand next to like say the MAC makeup, which is infinitely more expensive, or it could be next to say another company that's the same price and they are non-vegan. This is not expensive. This is very inexpensive. So you would surely choose the vegan one over the non-vegan one if the price is not like, you know, a major issue. Naturally, if it's much more expensive, then I understand. Do you have to take your hormones forever? Yes, unless I want my body to revert back. Yes, I do. Genuine question. I've seen a few trans women go around TikTok saying this. They say having periods is so easy most times and almost start downplaying biological women who do have periods. What's your take on that? They, trans women, say they have phantom periods. Is that really a thing? I hope this is not disrespectful to ask. I'm sorry if it is. Okay, so first things first. Couple of things, just to let you know. This, again, is not meant to be disrespectful, but for education purposes, since you're open to education, trans women and trans woman is not one word. It's two words. Trans being the adjective, the describing word for, you know, well, not adjective, I suppose verb, doing word. Is it a verb doing word? Yeah, a doing word for, like, transitioning between one thing to another. So trans being transgender, space, woman. Trans woman as one word is kind of dehumanizing. It makes it sound like we're other. It's kind of others us. Kind of makes it seem like we're a separate thing entirely and not just women, which for all intents and purposes, I don't know about you, but I don't go like other people in the world or what you think I do, but I don't go around in life just telling people I'm trans, you know? Like if someone came up to me randomly and asked, I would be like, I'm a woman. Like if I go to, I had a surgery appointment recently, for example, and the guy had to tick the sheet whether I was male, female, non-binary or whatever, and just ticks female. Like I don't have to be like, excuse me, no, I'm a trans woman. Like you don't, you know, trans woman is not one word. Secondly, bio woman, bit of an icky term. I get what you're saying, and this is a kind of hot debate right now. It's kind of a hot topic, but most trans people usually prefer for you to say cis woman, cisgender meaning that you identify with the gender you were assigned at birth, versus like trans woman meaning you're a woman but you identify with the gender that you were not assigned at birth, etc. Because bio woman implies that trans people are biologically incorrect. Anyway, To answer your question, yes, trans women can have phantom periods. It is a medically proven fact. Because their bodies are obviously dominated by estrogen, and their estrogen levels and hormone levels can change. I don't know the specific science behind it, but I have actually asked this question to my actual gender nurse before, and that's the reason I know the answer, funnily enough, so I have asked. And she said, and she tried to explain it to me, and it kind of went in one ear and out the other, because I'm not a medical professional. But yes, trans women can have phantom periods, in the sense that they can have like cramps, they can have the pain, but obviously they're not going to bleed, because they have no uterus. I don't agree with trans women downplaying periods. I've personally never seen a trans person saying that like biological women over exaggerate or that they're easy. Because naturally a phantom period, they don't know for sure if it feels the same. They don't know, there's no way to know the specifics. I don't know the specifics of any cis woman's period, and so I wouldn't want to pass judgment, and I think it would be disrespectful to people. I think it would be disrespectful for somebody else to downplay anybody's pain, even if another cis woman was downplaying another cis woman's period. I think that would be, it's rude. It's kind of like when men say to women that like their periods, oh, it can't be that bad, or whatever. Or when women say to men that being kicked in like the private areas can't be that painful. You don't know unless you've experienced it, and so I think that you can never, you shouldn't ever downplay somebody else's pain or somebody else's experience or somebody else's journey anyway. So I think that's generally rude. But yes, you can actually get, you can definitely get phantom periods. I'm curious what downplaying means in this case. Do you mean like they're claiming phantom periods and saying things like this ain't so bad, ladies? I don't know what the fuss is about. Apparently, according to the person in chat who asked, on TikTok there have been trans women who have said to cis women, you're over exaggerating, your periods aren't that painful, I'm having phantom periods and they're not that bad. Which obviously they're not comparable, and I don't think any cis woman, the periods aren't comparable anyway, because nobody knows what each person is experiencing and feeling. It's like if you punch two people in the arm and one person cries and the other person doesn't, and you turn to that person, the person who's not crying goes, you're a baby, that didn't even hurt. Like, you don't know how other people receive pain, how they experience pain. We can't. It's just strange. It's strange. I think some people have stronger periods exactly than other people. I think that's just generally a strange thing to have an opinion on, and to insult somebody because their pain's different to yours just feels weird. I just don't really understand that personally. But I've personally never met a trans person that downplays any experience that a cis woman experiences. Doesn't mean they don't exist, but I haven't experienced it. Well, if you're a trans man, can you still have periods? Absolutely. If you have a uterus, you absolutely can still have periods. Okay, next up, guys, I'm going to use... I don't even know what this brand's called. Hang on. It's called... I just bought it because I like the colours. 3ina. I'm going to use a dark concealer and a light concealer from them to contour today. So I take the dark one. I'm kind of sus of how many trans women are actually saying that. Like, it just smells like a straw man. Like, I've never met a trans person who downplayed those experiences either. Yeah, Medusa, the thing is I try to be polite, but, like, I feel like this is one of those things that people say to make trans people sound bad, but it's not really actually happening, Like, oh, I saw loads of trans women saying that women aren't women anymore. Like, no, that didn't happen. You're just saying that so that we look bad, but, like, that's fine. These things happen a lot. People like to make up stuff that trans people apparently did to make trans people seem bad. But 9 times out of 10, it's not true. Like, pretty much 99.9% of trans people you're gonna meet are law-abiding, normal citizens who just want to live their life, get on with it, and not bother anyone, not be bothered by anyone, and just get on with their life, go do their job, experience whatever they experience. Like, most trans people, if not nearly all trans people, are just normal everyday people like everyone else, just getting on with it, living their life. I don't know why everybody thinks that all trans people are like these crazy, obvious, flamboyant people who you can always tell are trans, trying to cause problems for people, or going in women's bathrooms and yelling at them, because these things are not really happening. It's just what conservatives say to make people scared of them. It's not really true. it kind of frustrates me because like I think that just like me, I just get on with my life, just live my life, do my job, spend time with my family, go about my day, whatever that might entail. I don't particularly reserve time in my day to go yell at cis women in the bathroom for not being more accommodating to me. You know, we just sort of like get on with it. It tends to be people who make things up. I'm not saying you're making things up, Icicle, but there could well be people on TikTok, because I don't trust anything on TikTok, that are making this up, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're making it up, but they're like, I definitely 100% would feel like if a conservative wanted to make people angry about trans women, they'd be like, go on TikTok and be like, you'll never guess what this trans woman just said about me. She just said that my periods aren't painful, even though she probably never did, and she's probably never spoken to a trans person in her life. But she'll just say that because she doesn't like them. Do you see what I mean? I don't think that you're making things up, but that doesn't mean the person making the video isn't. You know? Given C, are you American? And Jams, are you American? Basically, a conservative is what you guys in America will usually refer to as a Republican in like your usual language. In the UK, we don't use that term. We just say conservative. Conservatism is kind of like traditionalism in the sense that they basically, like Wheatspin said, in the most simplest form, want things to stay the same. They tend to not like the idea of gay people getting married or like trans people being allowed to exist, you know, things like that. Because they are overly traditionalist and don't like things to change. That's not all conservatives that have negative LGBTQ plus views, of course. It's just more common than it is with like liberal people. Yeah, in the UK people say Tories, yeah. Short for conservative, I think. Actually, how do they get Tory from that? No idea. I'm cis female and have had other cis females downplay my cramps. Every 3 or 4 months, I'll have really painful ones. I just don't think any human being should downplay anybody else's pain. We don't know what other people are experiencing, so it seems weird. How did you come out to people close to you? With terrifying uncertainty. I was very afraid, but it was fine. My mom was the only person. Well, my mom and my grandparents didn't have the best time with it, but my mom came around. My grandparents have mostly come around. They're still complicated, but like grandparents, you know. That's why I enjoy listening. It opens up more knowledge, and I feel like there's always something to learn about the LGBTQ community. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to learn other than if you don't ask or listen, you know. I think I missed a couple questions. If you guys have any others, you can ask. My dad used to tell me all the time that doesn't really hurt. When I was growing up, we don't talk much these days. It's funny, isn't it, how parents who ignore your feelings, refuse to acknowledge your identities, and downplay how you feel about things, end up usually not being in your life later. But they'll usually blame you for it, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Do you have any tips on people who are planning to medically transition or seeking to come out to family members who you don't know would be accepting? I'm trans male, and most I've been able to do is tell people, hey, I'm trans, please call me this, and go by he, him now. Okay, so you want to know how to tell your family. You don't know if they're accepting. I would try to do some digging to try and find out if they are accepting or not before coming out to them. I would find it really scary to come out to somebody who I don't know for sure is accepting. But like, when it comes to medically transitioning, I think if you're young, you need to probably have to sit down and talk to your parents. Most parents are obviously not going to let you medically transition too early. They might allow you to have blockers if they're accepting parents, but it really is going to have to just be a conversation with them. assuming you know they're accepting. Just don't put yourself in an unsafe position, please. My principal is super kind and I love her coffee cup. On it, it says she supports trans people in the LGBTQ plus community. Oh, I like that. Do you know, I think the thing is, right, it doesn't matter if you're a woman, a man, trans, whatever. There's just always people out there that pass judgment on people, and the best thing we can do is ignore them and continue to pass on positivity where possible. Okay, so I've done my like light contouring. I do then go in with just like an angled brush, and I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow to just put like the darker color bronze just over the top of my cheek contour, just to define my cheeks a tiny bit more. So this is where I start to make decisions on what I want to do next. If I'm going to wear a red lipstick, 'cause I do like to wear red, then I don't put any blush on and I don't put any eyeshadow on because the red lip is so bold. You don't want to have like too much going on. And I find that with my face, if I put eyeshadow and stuff on, it starts to look a little bit intense if I'm wearing red lipstick. If I'm going to wear a pink, a nude, or a brown lipstick, then I will put a little bit of pink blush on, and usually put a tiny bit of brown eyeshadow just to bring the whole thing together. And yeah, so what do we want to do? Do we want to go for a red lip, like a nice bold red lip, and then I'll do eyeliner? Or do we want to go for a nude colour palette and more brownie? What do you guys think? How did you react to hate about being trans? I don't react to hate very well, so I avoid social media. I'm not a huge social media person anymore. I try to avoid it. It makes me sad because I noticed like recently I announced that I was not going to use my Twitter very much anymore. And I was going to mainly focus on Instagram because people can't yell at you as much on Instagram as they can on Twitter. And there's not as much crap on your timeline that makes you feel miserable. Especially since Twitter is just a horrible place for anti-LGBTQ plus propaganda. I realized while I've been recovering from surgery how bored I get because I am an overworker. I'm a massive workaholic, and obviously I have multiple YouTube channels and my streams and everything else, and I'm always doing a million things at once. Since my surgery, I've had to rest. I have found it so hard not to doom scroll, like, because I just don't know what to do with myself when I'm not scrolling social media, you know. Okay, let's see. Mods, can we have a poll? Let's get a poll to decide if we're going to go for a nude palette or a bold red lip. Actually, can we have 3 options? Red lip, nude, or natural? Because when I do natural, I just put just put a gloss over the top of my natural lips. Natural makeup is what I tend to go for when I'm just doing my day-to-day, like going out places, like going grocery shopping or whatever. Turn the lights down a bit so you can actually see the makeup without me washing out. I've had to stop using social media much anyway because since I started my vocal therapy, people on TikTok keep saying I sound like Mickey Mouse, and it's making me feeling really miserable. The call of the doom scroll void, for sure. I'm followed by a lot of trans journalists and other journalists in the UK on Twitter, and so I follow a lot of them back, and all they tweet about lately is like the anti-trans stuff going on, which is fine. I get that they're doing their activism and it's their journey and they need to do what they need to do, but it just makes me so unhappy when I see it, so I've just had to avoid. Yeah, exactly. Twitter is literally the epitome of make people stressed and upset so that they respond. And anyway, yeah, so like I am still getting used to obviously practicing my voice and having vocal therapy and stuff. My vocal therapist is extremely experienced and she seems to be really happy with the results so far, but I'm still nervous. But the reality is, compared to how I talked before, or how I sounded before, this is obviously like major progress. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I'm gonna turn my aircon off. If you hear a little bang noise, I apologize. My aircon makes like a little like boom noise when it turns off. Oh, it didn't do it that time. Never mind. Bye French vibe, see you later. What advice would you give to a trans person who works at a call centre and gets misgendered by customers over the phone regularly? My partner is a supervisor at a call centre and he tries to support his employees, but he can't really stop customers from being disrespectful, so he's been struggling on how to help his employees. Funnily enough, this is this difficult thing because I used to get misgendered a lot on the phone. Funnily enough, since vocal therapy, I haven't been getting misgendered as much, even though I think I still sound like a man when I talk. I haven't been getting misgendered as much. It's awkward and difficult. Sometimes I correct the person. I'm like, no, my title is, you know, whatever. I'm like, it's Mrs. or Miss or whatever. I correct them. But most of the time I feel too awkward and just deal with it, and it's horrible. The thing is it's difficult because I actually really don't know like how you can make that better other than them giving their name when they answer and making if they've got a gendered name, but then at the same time like you don't want to give away personal information, so like I don't know. It's really tough. Perhaps they could use an alternative name to their real name when they give their name out, as long as their supervisor agrees, and they can use like a really gendered name to make it clear what their pronouns might be. I'm not sure. How does vocal therapy work exactly? Lots of focus on lifting your pitch and changing the way that you speak. My vocal therapist is an NHS one and she's very experienced and had a lot of comes with a lot of credential. She's been doing it a very, very long time, and she feels that speech pattern is not as important as people make out it to be, especially not in the UK where I live in the north, because women speak fast anyway here, and also some women speak slow, and some men speak fast and some men speak slow, so like the pattern in which you speak isn't necessarily inherently gendered, whereas it's more the pitch, if that makes sense. And so it's more focused on the pitch and more moving your voice from like resonating in your chest, where it resonates from somebody who's like assigned male at birth usually, and then moving it into like into your head voice essentially, which is where it resonates usually when you're assigned female at birth. It's complicated, it takes a long time. This is about as high as I'm gonna get before my voice just sort of goes weird and cuts out. I'm not gonna get much higher than this. This is much better than how I talked before, so like I can't complain. It's just that I don't feel like I sound feminine. I feel like I sound masculine, and it makes me feel nervous to talk to people, and it's something I'm trying to deal with and work on at the moment, because I have a tendency when I see people in public to just not speak, like shop assistants and stuff. I feel rude a lot because I tend to just smile and nod and like just hold my credit card or my phone out, for example, to make it clear I want to pay with my phone or my card, so that they know without actually saying, you know, most people like my sister will say like, can I pay with card, and then they'll do it. But I always feel awkward, so I sort of just hold it there and wait till they notice, because I don't want to speak, which kind of, I don't know, it definitely affects my life, so I'm trying not to do that too much. Okay, I think we went for natural on the thing, so I will put a tiny bit of blush on. So the blush I'm going to use today is this one here. It's the Charlotte Tilbury blush. It is called Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand, and this is in, I don't even know what shade it's in. I don't even know how you tell. Oh, it's in Pinkgasm. Lovely. I hate these names. Anyways, I just put a little bit here. And when I'm doing a more natural look, I like to put a little bit around my nose too. Like the bridge of my nose, for that kind of like sun-kissed kind of look, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going to use a little brush to just blend it in. I enjoy listening to your voice. In my opinion, your voice sounds really feminine. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Are you worried you won't be treated the way you'd like if you don't sound the way you'd like? When before, I only started having vocal therapy recently, but I transitioned a long time ago. People would often see me and not say anything, but then hear my voice and stare. And I've been misgendered a lot because of my voice. So yeah, I do feel like if I don't get to the point where I sound how I would like to sound, and people are going to continually misgender me. The thing is not often, people don't often misgender on purpose. There's plenty of people who do it by accident. Like if you heard my voice and couldn't see my face and didn't know I was trans and you were a stranger, would you misgender me? There is a chance. Like there's a chance you wouldn't know, and you would, you know, it depends on what you hear. So unfortunately, we live in a gendered world, and I don't think before I die that the world will change much. Like I think before I'm old enough and you know, and the world has changed. I don't think it's going to change enough um for the world to not gender voices, unfortunately. And it upsets you when it happens, I assume. Yes, I mean, it's not a nice thing to have people stare at you in public. Would that upset you? If people stared at you in public as if you're like some kind of monster? Or if somebody called you, I don't know your title obviously, but if somebody called you the one for the opposite sex or the incorrect title that you don't use, I'm sure that would upset you too. Okay, and my favorite brow, to do my brows, I find it really hard to find good brow stuff. This is the only thing I've ever found that I like, and it's Il Maquillage, and it's their Hypnotize Fill and Fix Brow Shaper, and I use it in Truffles as the colour. I don't really pluck my brows, I'm too lazy. I just fill them because they just look very, like, they've got lots of gaps and just look very bold sometimes. I don't think like I'd feel like a monster. I think I'd say something like, what, am I the only one here that doesn't have the same problem? Are you trans? If you don't mind me asking. Or gender non-conforming or anything like that. Or just an ally. Okay. Because obviously I don't want to like speak for you if you yourself are not like trans or are trans, sorry. I don't want to like speak for you or like downplay how you feel. But I would say that for most trans people, we already worry enough about the things that people think about us and like the opinions people have of us. Probably, you know, if somebody's rude about my voice or misgenders me, I'm not really in the business of standing up to them because I don't want to die. And unfortunately, the rate at which like trans people are murdered and LGBTQ people are murdered is far too high. So I don't really feel like, you know, rocking the boat. In a very similar way, we live in a world where people who are different consistently feel like they're in danger. Or, you know, different, meaning like white people decided that we're different. You know, like the same way they did to black people or people of colour. Some straight white guy at the top decided that these people are different. And so, you know, it's not easy to want to stand up in those situations and be like, you know, actually, that's really rude. And, you know, I'm sure you have your own problems because it's kind of scary, you know? It would be like somebody who's overweight, like I am, walking past and somebody laughing at you and calling you fat. It's the same kind of concept. Or someone laughing at you and not saying anything, you're going to immediately think that's what they're thinking, and it's going to make you feel uncomfortable and upset. You know, it's the same kind of thing. Nobody likes to feel like they're out of place. Or like they're not normal. Because we all have a thing about feeling, you know, normal. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of clear brow gel just to hold them. And also at the same time, you don't want people to look at you and think that you're not correct, you know? So normally when I'm doing like a natural look, I will usually not do eyeliner because it's not very natural, is it? But I'm going to today. But first, I'm going to use my little freck thing. So just dot around my finger in random places, like so. And then I just get that, and I just dab it around my nose and under my eyes. Just to create some of those fake freckles. I actually do have freckles, but obviously my freckles are so pale, they're so light, that as soon as I have makeup on, you can't see them. So just put some little fake ones on. Okay. I am a cisgender gay man and don't usually feel safe confronting people like that in public, so I don't blame you. It's even more dangerous. Trans people's safety is always most important. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is I don't like to be othered. So that's the biggest, I think that's the biggest problem. No trans person particularly enjoys being othered, you know? I dropped my freck. Hang on. Alright, so I wouldn't normally do eyeliner on a natural look. I would normally do, I would normally put just, do you know what? Can I be bothered? Yeah, I would normally just put a little bit of eyeshadow on, but I'm gonna do the eyeliner just because I'll just put a very tiny little bit of it on. In a way, I kind of just wish more people would recognize that we're just people. Like, I just live my life, just get on with it, you know? I don't want anything from anybody. Except to be allowed to exist. And just get on with my life. One time, I shaved my eyebrows accidentally. How do you accidentally shave your eyebrows? That'll do it. When I was a little boy, I found my grandmother's lipstick in her purse and put it on and just sort of walked into her room and my mum was sitting in. Her and my mum was sitting in and just stood there waiting for them to notice my mum wasn't happy. She was unhappy because you messed up her favourite lipstick or just because you were wearing lipstick. Alright guys, listen. Listen to me. If you don't like fake eyelashes, this is the holy grail, okay? This is the holy grail. I hate putting fake eyelashes on. I do it sometimes, but I hate it. Do you all know who Call Me Chris is? I saw in one of her videos she was doing her makeup and she put her mascara on. I was like, how does she make her lashes look so long and so voluminous with no fake lashes? Anyways, I paused the video and realized what she was wearing was this. So I bought it. This is the best mascara I've ever used. This is Too Faced. It's called Better Than Sex. It's Too Faced Better Than Sex, and it's in brown. I love this mascara, and we'll never use another one ever again. It's kind of a fake branding, but you know, it is really good. You know what? And even so, if men want to wear makeup, doesn't make them gay or trans, they can wear makeup. How'd you meet James? Barely even remember myself. No. I think for me, for my identity, it's probably one of the most easy to understand because it's just, I'm just straight up trans female, just straight one to the other, done. That's it. Nothing much complicated about that, I don't think. However, I even need better education on some things like non-binary people, for example. I've read a lot into like what it takes and like what is involved in being non-binary, but I don't necessarily fully understand it myself. But that does, I just think if I don't understand it, that's fine. I'll just accept people for who they are and call them what they want to be called and use their pronouns. But, you know, you can't be expected to understand and know everything, right? We're only human. How do you deal with someone who tries to defend J.K. Rowling? I remind them that she ain't gonna like him and give him any money or go to dinner with them just because they defend her endlessly. Why do we defend people we don't know? Like, in that way? I mean, it's different to, like, if someone's, like, beating someone up or, like, being horrible to someone on the street and you want to defend them, that's fine. But, like, why do people want to defend J.K. Rowling to the death on Twitter? She's not gonna be your friend just because you defend her on Twitter. Like, it's not gonna happen. I don't know, man. I just don't care. Like, I just want to get on with my life, you know? If you can't be friends with somebody because they have different views to you, that's fine. Don't be friends with them. That's the best thing I can suggest. I'm one of those people, not gonna lie. It depends on the views. Like, it depends how strong the views are. But if somebody has really strong views that I can't align with, sometimes I can't get along with them, and that's fine. So I just don't, you know? You can choose who your friends are. There are some things that I can still get along with people for, though, that I don't mind. It all depends on who you are and what the thing is. Right, so we're going for a natural look, you guys said, right? So I need some gloss. Let me just go over to my dressing table real quick. Alright. So all I'm gonna do is I am going to pop this like pink gloss, this Oh My gloss, don't know what brand this is. Rimmel. I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on my lips just to pink them up a little teeny bit. Just in normal life, I probably, like day-to-day life, I probably wouldn't put any pink on. I just like put the clear gloss on top of my lips that are natural. But because I am streaming, you can't really see the pinkiness of my lips. And so I will put a little bit of pink on first before I do the thing. Picture this. The year was 2020. The Panini had just hit. I bought a gaming laptop and joined her Minecraft server for Twitch subscribers. A few months later, mod applications opened. I was the only one picked, and the rest is history. There you go. Answer to your question there from James himself. Alright, my freckles is not coming off my fingers. This stuff is strong. Jesus. Get off. I have to wash my hands after. So basically, I'll get the little pinky gloss like this. Little glimmery one. Pop it on. If you heard that, I'm really sorry. My family are being really loud in the background. And then once I've put that on, to be fair, that looks kind of good on its own. But once I've done that, I usually take this little liquid gloss that I have that's just clear because it's really good. I just pop it on top. Now, I've never had an avocado, but this gloss is avocado flavoured. And it tastes good. And then you just get that nice, it's also on a metal roller so that you can just wipe it off to get the colour off so it doesn't mix with the gloss. And then we're done. And you get such nice, like, plump kind of vibe going on. I apologise, my family is being extraordinarily loud. I think the thing I have most trouble with understanding is identifiers as a gender altogether. For me, I'm a guy, but only as a consequence of my biology, so I have a hard time understanding what it is that triggers people to be like, aha, that's what I've been feeling all this time. For trans people, the trouble with understanding is identifying as a gender altogether. Like, for me, I'm a guy, but only as a consequence of my biology. But what do you do that makes you a guy? Like, what things do you do that make you a guy? You identify with the body you were given, right? You feel comfortable in it. The parts that you have, you feel comfortable with. You're fine with being a dad one day if you have kids. It's because that's what you're going to be, because you're a man, right? Well, that's a gendered role that you're going to be identifying in. Yes, part of your biology, but if you're comfortable in it and don't mind being in it, that means you're identifying with it, right? You're fine with being a husband if you ever get married. If you are, because even though it's because of your biology, you're still comfortable with the role, right? You're going to be identifying in a husband, even though we don't say it, you still like in that way, you are identifying as a husband after you're married, right? And not a wife or just a spouse. You're fine with wearing what is presumably, I don't know you, but I'm assuming masculine clothes. Because they fit with the gender you were assigned at birth and the identity you have, so you don't mind identifying with those clothes, right? Like, it's like if somebody sees you with what you're wearing in public, they're going to immediately think male, I assume, I don't know you, but I assume. You're fine with people identifying you as a male immediately based on what you're wearing and things like that. Like, you may not outright say that you identify with a gender, but you are fitting into that role which you have been assigned, but comfortably. And you're fine with that role because you're comfortable in it, right? Whereas from literally being a child, like from being really young, I can remember despising everything about it. Everything about being put into any kind of masculine role, the expectation from my grandparents that I should play like masculine sports, or that I wasn't allowed to play the mother in like games when I was a kid, when I played like mums and dads with my siblings when I was a kid, or the fact that my teachers when I was a kid told me I wasn't allowed to wear certain things in school dress-ups or things like that, you know. There's lots of ways that you just feel it like straight away, if that makes sense. Like, you wouldn't have ever questioned your gender identity if you're comfortable in it, because you don't need to question it if you're comfortable in it, because you're happy with what you've been given, you know? Does that make sense? You wear cargo shorts because of the pocket space. The fact that it's socially accepted for guys to do would never really answer the question. Okay, so if I brought you a skirt that had tons of pockets all over it and it was just by default clearly the better option for walking storage, would you wear a skirt? Purely because of its pocket abilities. I assume you would probably not want to wear a skirt because people socially identify it as being a thing for women. Even though men should be able to wear skirts too. Like, if I brought you a skin-tight, gorgeous bodycon dress and heels and was like, This is like got the best pockets in the world on it. Wear this. I have a feeling you would probably not feel super great with people being uncomfortable around you in public, or giving you inappropriate comments, or being rude, you know, things like that. Because it wouldn't necessarily fit with what is socially expected of you from the role that you've been given. The airflow would make you feel weird. That's a very man thing to say. What French fries? What are you even talking about anymore? It's a really complicated topic, and a really complicated thing to explain. But like most of these things, I knew I felt pretty much from the go. You know, from the moment I was born. I found it really upsetting that my sister was allowed to wear dresses and skirts growing up, but I wasn't. And clothes don't necessarily make you gender identity, but obviously there's so many other things that come into it too. In the UK, in order to access like gender affirming care, you have to have like 2 different psychologists sign off on it, and your doctor, and like, you know, lots of counselling and stuff. So like, I've been kind of through all this and talked about how I feel and stuff, and it's complicated. But like, the thing is I know that this is right for me, because now I have bad mental health days still, like anybody, but I am infinitely happier and more comfortable in my body than I have ever been in my whole life. You know? And I was pretty dang miserable before. So. And all the other things in my life that were kind of miserable are still kind of miserable. This is the only thing that's really changed. So I know it wasn't any other like outside, like, influences that were causing how I was feeling at the time that have changed since, and that's why I'm feeling better. I know why I'm feeling better, because I am being what I feel I am. Does that make sense? I think you can definitely get, like, there are skirts that you can get that are made for men, for example. I mean, kilts are technically skirts, right? So it's complicated too, because shape is difficult to quantify, because when people talk about shape, they're talking about when they imagine like creating clothes for shape. What we all imagine in our head when you say that, because of like the way society is the perfect ideal shape of a man and the perfect ideal shape of a woman. People don't look like that. You know, not many people look like the perfect ideal of what a man or a woman looks like, you know? Because we're all different, which I know is like, whew, mind blown. Okay, let me set my makeup real quick. Just gonna use my collection setting spray for anyone that's interested. Do you play TS4? What is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, The Sims 4? I don't do good with abbreviations. Yeah, I play The Sims 4 sometime. My hair is so gross because I was out in the rain. And I have not showered because I was streaming. My stream was due. So I'm going to try and dry shampoo and save this. So bear with me, because oh my god, it looks so gross. Ew, the rain has made it so gross. I'm going to try and dry shampoo to save it. I'm supposed to be recording YouTube videos after this. With face cam. Ew. Here, I can show you guys. Hang on. It is literally just absolutely peeing it down outside. I literally got in my car. Let me show you. After I finished grocery shopping, I got in my car and literally this was me. Hang on. This is not the one I was. This one, look. I'm soaked. I'm so is my mom, look. Just absolutely soaked. And it was just raining so heavily, look. My car was just covered. I was absolutely... Look at my hair. Ew. Give me 1 sec. Ew. I've got like no dry shampoo left. I bought a new one, but I didn't bring it up. 1 second. Got some more. Ew, it's all wet from being in the rain. Gross. Okay, let me just fix this. That came out much faster than I was anticipating. Dry shampoo makes your hair go white, in case anyone doesn't know, before you brush it out. I'm not just really old. I think somebody asked earlier what my natural hair colour is. My hair is brown. I've got brunette hair naturally. But I've had ginger hair, like dyed ginger hair now, for so long that I think it would be so weird if I went back to just... It needs doing again. The roots are growing out, as you can see. But I think it would be weird to go back now to like brunette hair. That's my natural colour. That's coming through. But I've had ginger hair now for so long. I think going back would be weird. I have pictures of me with brown hair HD, but they're old. Oof. Okay. All right. Let me check and see if I can find a picture for you of my hair before, for those that are interested. Did you guys see my new pictures that I put on Instagram, by the way? I was so proud of those new pictures. I'll show you one in case you haven't seen, but I was just having like a day. I was having a day. And so I was like, I'm gonna go out and just take some pictures in this like nature reserve where I live. Let me see if I can just grab a couple for you. I was like living for these. Look at this. This was one of them that I took. I love that picture so much. And here's another one. I was so proud of those pictures. I took them by myself with a tripod too. I love this. The wind was very strong, can you tell? Anyways, let me see if I can find a picture for you when I had brown hair. The last time I had brown hair was so long ago, guys, that it's going to be really difficult to find, so you'd have to bear with me. Okay, if you hold on. The two at the top here are darker. They're not brown, but they're darker. And then the two at the bottom are when I was blonde. Look at those teeny tiny boobs before I had breast augmentation. It's not brown, but it was darker than it is now. And then let me see if I can scroll all the way back. I'm doom scrolling to try and find a brown hair picture. I haven't had brown hair since before I started taking hormones. So I should imagine I will look a bit different. Let's see. To the doom scroll. I should imagine that every single picture from when I had brown hair will be like mega filtered because I hated myself. And also my hair's not really dark brown. It's like a dirty blonde, naturally, if that makes sense. Oh god, I hate myself. I found some. Okay, so these are from however long away, however far. Wait, hang on. October 2019. Okay, so these are from October 2019. But that was my natural hair. So it's like a dirty blonde. Oh, I hated myself so much. But that was me before I actually started taking hormones. So I hadn't really transitioned yet at that point. And I'd like to think that in comparison to now, hold on. I'd like to think that in comparison to now, here's some pictures for comparison. I'd like to think the improvement is definitely visual. Like, I feel like, you know, I like to think that there's a significant change. I mean, my hairdresser calls my natural hair brown. That looks brown to me, but it just grew. It's like a lighter blondie brown, like a dirty blonde. But I'd like to think that there is a definite improvement. You can look on my Instagram if you want. You can scroll. If you scroll back far enough, you'll find these. But me then compared to me now, well, you know, me now, I feel like there's a significant improvement, in my opinion. I like to think so, anyways. Yeah, Teddy's hair is about the same color as mine, yeah. As what my natural hair color is. So yeah, anyways, before and after shots. Yay. Shall I see if I can find a picture for you guys right before I had said, like, my stuff done to my face? See if you can tell the difference. I don't know if you'll be able to tell from this, but I'll try. Here's me in a creepy church graveyard. Let me see. Let's use that one. If you look at this picture, can you tell the difference between my face? Like, if you compare this picture, hang on. This was like 2 months before I had my surgery and my fillers and stuff. I think if you look at my face, I think you can tell the difference in the shape of my face. I'd like to think. Which side of my face is this? Like, I obviously have my cheeks filled, you know? So I feel like you can tell. I suppose it would be better if I actually pulled like a strand of hair down, because I have a little bit of my hair from the front flowing down on this picture. Hold on. I actually don't know how I did that. Like, I made that look so nice and effortless. I guess I had my hair up like this and then just pulled a little bit out. Like that. I think you can tell the difference in the shape in my face, I think. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking now. The point is I had cheek and lip fillers, so my lips are much bigger. And my cheeks are plumper. And obviously my boobs are bigger. Let me just go scroll back a bit, see if I missed anything. Back a little over a year ago, I was forced into believing that I was trans because the person I was with thought it would be a better role for me. So that person, I've been super questioning my gender. I believe I'm female, but I don't feel comfortable with these titles, like queen and princess, etc. I much prefer more gender neutral titles. But I don't believe I'm non-binary, and sometimes I feel more masculine than female. I think I'm female. It's all just so confusing. I think, like with anything in life, you should just take your time to think about it and let yourself figure yourself out. Like, you don't have to rush yourself to figure these things out. Just take your time. Just vibe through life a bit, you know, and give yourself time to figure it out. You don't need to rush. No one's pressuring you, except for yourself. So, you know, just take your time. Okay. We have a little bit of time left. Does anybody have any more questions or anything? Don't think we have enough time for me to boot up Destiny. That's what we were going to do if I finished, but I don't think I have enough time for that. You see Clem? Can you? Hello. Hi. Hi, baby. Wanna come say hi? Wanna come say hi? Oh, come on then. Come on then, come say hi. Hello. Hi. What are you looking at? Look. Look. Over here, look. No? Okay. He's like, nope, I'm out, bye. Oh no, he wants to stay on the chair, I guess. Now he's gonna go and mess up my dressing table for picking him up. He's gonna be mad at me. He's gonna go just chuck stuff everywhere. I genuinely don't know why people would hate on you. You have such a warm heart and spread so much positivity. Screw him, right? I just focus on doing me, you know? I think that's what's most important sometimes, is just focus on doing what's best for you. I have a dog as well, and I love my dog equally as much as my cat. Yeah, let him stay mad. I don't really care. I mean, I'll try and politely educate where possible, but some people don't want to learn. They don't want to know. Even if they don't understand, they're not interested in figuring things out or understanding. And for those people, it's best sometimes to just leave them to it. Let them doom scroll and live their hateful lives. Do you know what? sometimes when my hair fades a bit, because obviously when I first got it dyed, it's much brighter. When it fades a bit, I start to feel like I've got a bit of a CC Bloom vibe going on. And you know what? I'm here for it. 100% here for it. And I just realised none of you are going to have a clue what I'm talking about because you're probably all too young. Favorite video game? Mostly play Roblox, obviously from my YouTube channel. But Overwatch is my favorite video game. I like to play that the most. My favorite game ever though is probably the Walking Dead game. But obviously you can't really story games, can't just keep replaying that over and over again really. I'm stupid if I forgot I haven't seen the episodes, but will you have children in the roleplay series? Be LGBTQ+? I don't know yet. I haven't planned that far in advance. Or have I? You'll have to wait and see. So the people in Overwatch can be toxic. You know what you do? Turn off the chat. That's what I do. Just turn the chat off. And then you don't know if someone's being toxic because you can't see. Problem solved. Trying to see if there's any questions I have missed. Is there anything anybody said that I've missed? If it's a question that you've asked and I missed it, you can resend it if you want to. I enjoy Overwatch and exciting Roblox games more than RH streams as of right now. There's not much going on in Royal High right now, that's why. But over time it'll get better. My favourite movie is Beaches, which is why I just made the CC Bloom reference that none of you got. And TV show, play The Walking Dead. How do I respond to people who don't believe my gender? On Roblox I dress female, but I'm male IRL. They don't believe me when I'm saying I'm male. I think that's just weird. Why would somebody not believe you? They're just mostly kids in a game, so I wouldn't care too much about what people say. Like, it just doesn't matter, you know? Don't worry about it. Just, you do you. Besides Roblox and Overwatch, do you have any guilty pleasure or hidden gem games you really like? I do have a big guilty pleasure, but it's kind of, I feel like I don't know why I think it's embarrassing, because like it's a popular game, so I don't know why. But I feel like I wouldn't give off this vibe to anybody, because I always say that I don't like long-winded games. I like repetitive games where you do the same, like Overwatch, where you do the same thing over and over again. But I do have a guilty pleasure game that I've been playing a lot while recovering from surgery, because obviously I had surgery 3 weeks ago, so I've been recovering a lot. And my guilty pleasure game is City Skylines. I've literally, oh my god, don't even get me started. Like, I literally was like forcing my boyfriend to watch me play City Skylines. I love City Skylines. I know it sounds, I don't know if people like, because anyone who's watched me a long time is gonna probably not even imagine me playing a game like that, because I never talk about games like that. I'll play them on stream, but I love it. I don't know why, but I just love sitting there and just creating the whole thing. The other night I decided to start over, so I decided instead of just starting over like a normal person, I would totally flood and kill everybody in my city before starting over. So yeah, I like it. I don't even know. you really just call City Skylines a guilty pleasure as if it's not good? I don't know. I feel like people in my community would not agree with that. But I love it. I think it's a great game. I've already pre-ordered number 2. Like, I'm really pumped for it. What is it? It's about, I don't know what the correct term to describe it is, but it's like a top-down city builder, essentially. Like you place all the roads and place the zones for like houses and shops and things like that. Build your own cities. Kind of like Sim City, but not crap. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, everything SimCity ever wished it was. It's great. You guys should check it out. I love City Skylines. It became a guilty pleasure by accident, I guess, in a sense that I use Windows for when I stream here, but I have my laptop is a Mac. Like, I use a Mac for everything except my job. I only use my Windows PC for like streaming and stuff like. Ew, what is that? I think I spilled some food on my mouse pad. Ugh. Anyways, I use a Mac outside of like my usual stuff, and City Skylines runs on a Mac, and I just was looking down my list of games that run on Mac when I was after my surgery, because I was like, I'm bored, I want to play a game, and my Switch was not doing it for me because I'm not a console person. And I was sitting and scrolling through, and I was like, oh my god, I haven't played City Skylines in years. So I downloaded it again, and then that night I was playing it. I started playing at like 7 PM. Suddenly it was like 4 in the morning, and I was like, oops. So yeah, I've streamed The Sims before, Jams. Most people didn't really respond good to it. Like, I could play it again and see how the audience feels, but if I don't play Roblox, my audience doesn't very like it. It took me ages to get them to accept me playing Overwatch, so... Your church graveyard picture just reminded me of a recommendation for your beaplays and friends channel. A game called The Night Shift Experience. Okay. I'll have a look. But yeah, I accidentally played City Skylines all night and stayed up until like ridiculously early in the morning. So I played it last night actually. I'm probably gonna play it tonight too. Whenever my mental health is like not amazing, I like to play it too because it just like distracts from the world. It's because I've not been using social media, so I've needed something to play because I've not been doom scrolling. So I've needed something to do. And two, like, until my breasts have healed, then I'm probably gonna start taking like bikini photo shoots if I'm in my free time instead. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I love the extreme violence mod. Oh my god. In The Sims? Oh. I've had my fair share of, oh, it's 5 AM suddenly with some games. So my games are normally Overwatch for that. GTA, I've done it with GTA before. But given the fact that I've played like a total of 35 days in playtime on GTA Online, I've kind of not been playing it recently. What else? Minecraft, I've done that before. I've streamed Minecraft like for like 24 hours before and been like, oh crap, it's been a day. Like, I've not even realised. I easily accidentally get lost and stream Minecraft for like 16 hours. Easy. So, what was I going to say? Make sure you follow my Twitch if you're new here and you want to catch more of what we do. Feel free to go follow if you want to. Don't have to. It's up to you. If a mod can send a link, that'd be fab. Because I am coming up to the end of my time slot soon. Not just yet, but soon. Factoria and the new one, Day of the Diver. Why? Everyone keeps telling me to play this Day of the Diver game. What is this? I haven't looked yet. Thanks, James. Why do people think that dropping into other people's streams to tell them that you're alive is going to get people to watch you? No one wants to watch someone who does that. It's so many games all in one. It sounds like a game about diving to me. Your Twitch profile picture is what, Minzy? What have you done? Oh, it's just teeth. That's weird. Oh, Jams. I'm sure you'll probably cherish the memories when you're older. Spending time with your siblings. I think B should play Only Up. Yeah, the most salty, competitive person you know, who is well known for getting angry and smacking their mouse into a desk, should play Only Up. Great idea, James. I stopped playing like overly competitive games like that, or like overly irritating games like that a long time ago for a reason. When I used to play Minecraft PvP, I used to get so mad, like so frustrated that I one time smacked. So like when I moved to like the countryside, well, I've always lived in the country, but like I moved even further out. I had really bad internet where I lived, so I couldn't stream. So I had to buy like I had to pay for an extra strong, like a bigger phone plan, so that I could portable hotspot my phone to my PC to stream using mobile data, like cell data. And I used to have to put it up on like a shelf because it was the only place in the house you get a signal. And I would have the phone up there on the shelf, and I was Minecraft PvPing, and someone killed me in a really frustrating way, and I got mad, and I held my mouse and just slammed the bottom of it into my desk, and as I did it, it pulled the cable and my phone fell off the shelf and smacked into my PC and blue screened my PC all in the middle of the stream. Like just one thing after another, just like smacked into that, blue screened it, phone fell on the floor, cable came out, it was just... And from that moment I decided no more competitive games because I'm salty AF. No more Minecraft PvP. So now I don't play anything that makes me angry because I don't want to be like that. I don't enjoy that energy, that competitive. My mum, exact same as me, can't play Monopoly with my family. We are a family of table flippers. Like, people just get angry and it's just not worth it. Basically, the overarching thing is you dive and spear fish to serve as sushi, but there's a story and all the characters are awesome. I see. I need to watch the trailer, I think. My family can't play board games or anything together. We're all too competitive. We don't like... I don't try and play anything with my family. My sister's always like, let's play this. And I'm like, hell no. Because she's worse than I am. Like, she's even more competitive than me and I'm bad. So, like, I'm not doing that. My family is so competitive. We've had a week or month-long arguments before because nobody will give up and nobody will apologize until we just keep going until we win. So I have literally like had times in my life where I haven't spoken to my mom for weeks because we've just been fighting and none of us will give in. So it's best for me to not play video games or board games or anything like that with my family and stay nice and calm and not get annoyed or irritated with them. Day of the Diver is a great game if you're feeling bingy. Stay away if you're binge prone and avoiding that sort of thing. I am binge prone, but it's probably a good thing for me because everybody keeps complaining that I'm a workaholic and work too much. And there's a very good chance that my boyfriend is watching this and nodding his head profusely in frustration. Almost at 2 hour mark, we are indeed. Yes. I am a major overworker. It is not uncommon for me to work like 16 hours sometimes. It's not uncommon for me to work every day of the week with no weekend off. That's basically my normal life. So... Hello, Bee's boyfriend. Hello, B's boyfriend. I don't know if he's watching. I don't know if he is. He might be. I'm just being silly. He's just chilling. He's using my neck pillow. You can't see. He's laid on my neck pillow because I've had surgery, so I've been using my neck pillow to like to thing. Look, he's laying on it, chilling out. So lazy. Half his body's hanging off the bed. When I look at him, he's like, "Why are you looking at me?" Usually because if I look at him, I go and pick him up and he gets really annoyed. I'm sure he's watching. What's with the team, Cherry? He might not be. He might be playing Diablo or something. He likes Diablo. Clem just came to chill with us. Yeah, he's just vibing. We were gonna get a pet, but I found out my brother is allergic to dogs. My mother is already allergic to cats, so the only pets we can have is a goldfish that will probably die within a few hours. Hours? You know if you feed it, it'll not die, right? No, French vibes. Keeping my personal life personal because people on the internet are weird. My money is on him not watching at the moment. Okay, James. A good email idea, spilled tea. Do I have a tea emote? Do I have one? Conan Gray. Are you if Conan Gray was my boyfriend, you think I'd be sat here right now? I'd be in New York. Hey, I don't think I have a team, do I? I have a team. Oh, I do have a team. You're right. Cherry just insults me to my face using irises instead. Just kidding. Alright, guys. Last minute questions. Anything else you want to say or ask before we head off? I need to go chill. And that's not true. I need to go and do more work. Because I has some stuff to do. I need to record. If you haven't already followed my Twitch, I'll send a link to it in the chat. In case you want to. No pressure. You don't have to. We play Roblox and Overwatch and some other stuff and just chatting and talk about life. Feel free if you want to come and follow. Would you ever go on tour? I would be the first person to buy you tickets. I don't sing. What would I go on tour for? To stand there and be like, hey, how are you guys doing? I'm not funny either. So like, what would I do on tour? I wouldn't mind going to some conventions so that you guys can meet me again because I haven't been to one in years. But I wouldn't be going on tour because I don't think I've got much to share. I just always do something like go on tour doing TED Talks about how boring and miserable my life is. Go on tour to screech your heart out. Yeah, yeah. I'll just go and screech my favourite Taylor Swift songs. VidCon or TwitchCon. You need to go to cons, to a convention. Yeah, not on tour. beaplays on tour. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah. Jesus Christ. I could just sing loads of songs about my large, painful ankles. People watch you sitting on a computer for an hour. Yeah, I think you could all just watch me edit a video. But I won't show you the video I'm editing. So you just literally just see me at a computer just typing and clicking for an hour. And you have to pay $20 to do it. Okay, James. Can we go 5 minutes without talking about Colleen Ballinger? Jesus Christ. You sound like the average Royal High viewer right now, French vibes. I'll stay awake until I find out. I'll stay awake till it happens. I'm staying up all night until it comes out. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for chilling and vibing with me again. It was lovely to spend time with you all. As always, you are all wonderful. I always have a lovely time with you guys. As you know, you are all fabulous. And thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate it. I hope you all had a nice time. And I am going to go record some YouTube videos. And then I am going to go and play some Overwatch and then go to bed. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever it might be for you. I hope I helped in some way with some of your questions. I'll be back on here, I believe. The next time I will be here will be, when will it be? The 15th of next month, I think. I usually try and go for the 15th of each month. I don't know if I managed to nab it again, but hopefully I did. I'll see you guys on my Twitch some point this week. Oh, look! The blind went down. I forgot that it's set to do that at 10 o'clock. Anyways, I'll see you at some point in the week coming on my channel. I love you lots. I'll see you all soon. Have a lovely day. And just be wonderful. Bye.